Hey everybody, the Mana Traders series this month is going to be Pioneer, and if you want to participate in the absolute best online tournament series going on in Magic right now, you can sign up to get a Mana Traders rental subscription using code A22EN_FT9. And once you're signed up, you get access to renting cards for Moto anytime you want, and then you also are entered into this tournament where you can win up to $4,000 cash just playing a one-day event in a monthly tournaments. This is every month you get a chance to win this money. And yeah, if you'd sign up and support the channel, I'd really appreciate it. See you guys later, and let's get to some content. Welcome everybody to another episode of Making Magic Happen, brought to you by RW Hobbies and Games, Livonia, Michigan. I'm Zach, and today we've got an homage of sorts. This is a shout out to Corey Burkhart, member of Team RW. I don't know anybody who likes to play Grixis in Modern more than Corey. Literally nobody. If you think you like to play Grixis in Modern, you probably don't like to do it as much as Corey, because it doesn't exist. He loves it. But before we get in the deck, I'd like to remind everybody to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment about what you think about it. And also, if you want to request the deck played, leave a comment with the deck requested in the comments, and I will try to get to it. So let's talk about what's going on with this deck. Well, before the bannings in Modern of Uro and Mystic Sanctuary and 55 other cards, Valky was kind of dominating the format, and so was Uro. These two cards seem to be everywhere. And I had tried a Wilderness Reclamation Teamer deck that utilized Factor Fiction and Uro pretty well. And I think Uro's mechanic of just repeatedly being this broken 6/6 was too good, shall we say. And Valky had a broken Cascade thing going on. That was dumb. It really shouldn't have worked that way. But Valky proved to be pretty powerful, so there was some stuff it was doing that was pretty interesting. And I wanted to see if I could find a home for, well, the escape mechanic on a 6/6. I can't use Uro, but Crocs is pretty good, and I can play Factor Fiction, so I'm going to try to use a graveyard-centric control deck. Factor Fiction, hopefully you hit a Croxa, you take the pile that doesn't have Croxa in it, and then you have a Croxa in your yard, so it's kind of like your Factor Fiction draws 4 cards a lot of the times. I guess they'd put Croxa in the 3 pile, so maybe it's just drawing 3, but, you're putting Croxa in the graveyard, and you're putting a bunch of cards in the graveyard to fuel it, which is pretty interesting. The other thing that's really nice about this is you get to play Lurrus for free. Because even though Crocs is kind of like a 4-mana creature and Valky's like a 7-mana planeswalker, they both technically cost 2 on the front, so Lurrus is still fair game. I don't get to play with Jace the Mind Sculptor, which is a big loss. It's something I would really like in this deck, but it's okay. Factor Fiction is debatably better anyway. I think Jace is slightly better, but I don't think it's a huge drop-off, and when your Factor Fiction put a Crocs in the yard, it's pretty interesting. I'm playing 2 Thought Scours. I don't love Thought Scour in this deck. It's like fine. It's fine, but it's not amazing. But just having 2 is nice. It's a good way to get some cheap value with Snapcaster. It fills the yard more. You can Thought Scour Croxas. It's fine. I don't want a lot of them. I don't want it to be the plan is the Thought Scour all the time, but just a couple is going to be pretty good, I think. I've also got 3 Mishra's Baubles. Again, Bauble's not great in this deck, but I do want Lurrus to be better, and it's pretty free to put a couple in. I'm not trying to go all in on Baubles, per se, but, having a couple to make sure I can cycle in with Lurrus so I just, have access to a Phyrexian Arena whenever I want it is pretty good. And I've got some Snapcaster Mages, which also happens to work quite well with Lurrus, so got some nice stuff happening there. I'm curious to see how these play out. I do think my deck is a little weak to the graveyard. Hopefully Valky and Creeping Tar Pit are enough enough win cons that don't use the yard that I can find a way to win that way. This deck is actually pretty good at doing chip damage. I've got 4 bolts and 3 snaps, so I can attack the face. Croxa does do some chip damage, certainly, and even if they hit the graveyard, you can still find spots where you can deal 3 damage with the first activation. And Creeping Tar Pit plus Bolt should be enough to finish him off. I don't know. We'll see. This is a lot of theory testing, but we're going to find out. Obviously, I'm playing Forced Negation and Cryptic Command. I'm trying Archmage's Charm. I am a little bit concerned the mana's going to be rough. Kroxa to bring back his red, red, black, black, and I'm also playing triple blue spells, so yeah. Might have trouble casting our spells, and for that reason you see me playing the bare minimum number of basics. I thought about cutting the mountain. I wanted to cut the mountain. The only reason I have it is because I do feel like I need a painless red source to be able to fetch against burn so I can cast my lightning bolts early and not take too much damage, because I think this deck is going to have a hard time against burn. I at least have Luris to kind of, at some point, hopefully make up for the shocking. Like, I do have a way to gain life that I always have access to, so that's nice. And the other great thing about this deck is Kolaghan's Command. The Shatter and Artifact mode is not super relevant in Modern anymore. It does come up, but it's not super relevant. But just the flexibility of kill a small creature, make them discard, or be able to bring back something from the yard that I have either, left in there with a Factor Fiction or Thought Scoured, or, just died in the case of Valky, or, what have you, I think is going to be pretty good. We'll see. But Kolaghan's Command is at its best when it's, either killing something and making them discard, or killing something and bringing back a creature from your yard, or making them discard and bringing back a creature. You want it to be getting 2 cards worth of value, and we're trying to set it up in this deck where you do. I do like how it plays with Valky, where, I can play, if Valky's in my hand and I have him early, I'm just going to play him on 2, hopefully get a discard effect out of him, maybe trade off, I don't know, but he'll probably die, and then when he does, I can bring him back later with Kolaghan's Command and cast him for his 7-mana Planeswalker half, which is what I'm hoping to do. There's a chance one of the 2 Archmage's Charms should just be a 3rd K command. We'll have to see. I kind of am just trying to test this out, get a better feeling for it. This one card here that you can't really see is a Dreadbore. I like the full art, so I'm using it. I think it's sweet. I wanted a little extra insurance against Wrenn and 6 or Teferis or Jaces or what have you, so I have 1 Dreadbore over the 4th Fatal Push. The 4th Fatal Push might be better. Again, we're going to have to keep testing. I could also see it being, what's the 1-mana one? Bloodchief's Thirst. I could buy that. I could buy Bloodchief's Thirst being better. Again, that's something I'm just going to have to test. I just wanted to try out the Dreadbore, but again, I would not be shocked at all if this was better as a Bloodchief's Thirst. Again, we'll see. We'll do some testing. We'll figure it out. It probably is better as a Bloodchief's Thirst the more I'm thinking about it, but we're going to try the Dreadbore because it's here and this one looks super cool. So that's what the main deck's doing. In the sideboard here, we kind of have the things you'd expect. I mean, 3 Nile Spellbomb. Dredge is probably a problem for this deck. It's probably not great. I'm probably going to lose to it if we do play. But, if I don't, it's probably because I drew one of my Nile Spellbombs. And Nile Spellbomb works pretty well with Luris. It's also the type of graveyard hate I think is quite good in a deck like this, because I can't hurt my own graveyard. I'm so graveyard-centric, so I can't play anything like Rest in Peace. Obviously, Rest in Peace doesn't exist. So I'm kind of limited to, Nile Spellbomb, Surgical Extraction, or Leyline of the Void. And I don't love Leyline of the Void. It's a little narrow for my taste. It, is great against Dredge, but you don't really want to bring it in if you play against Jund or, the Grixis Mirror, because Grixis is going to be super popular, so... But, against those decks, you're happy to bring in a Nile Spellbomb. You can actually just board out your Mishra's Baubles, because Nile Spellbomb is a perfectly fine thing to cycle with Luris and get value if that's where I want to go. So that's a pretty easy cut. In fact, I think there's a chance that these could just be main over Baubles to get me some sideboard space. I don't know. We'll have to see. That's another place. That's another place to explore, but we'll see where that goes. I've got 3 Aether Gusts. Gust is just a great sideboard card in Modern. There's so many decks it's good against, and I'm going to need the help against burn. So we have 3 Aether Gusts. We have 3 Cleansing Wildfires. Again, I thought my mana was too hard to include a Field of Ruin. You could maybe get away with 1. Maybe. But, triple or double red, double black plus triple blue is a lot. It's asking for a lot. So I didn't want to include any lands in my deck that didn't cast these spells. And already playing 3 islands is kind of a stretch. Island doesn't cast Kroxa, so we'll see how that ends up playing out. But again, because of there's a lot of directions we're going. There's Boil, there's Blood Moon, there's all these considerations. Aether Gust is really important to protect them. But again, I don't get Field of Ruin, so I need this hate for Tron. So I think 3 Cleansing Wildfire is a must in the sideboard. I could even buy that I'm supposed to play a 4th. We'll see how that plays. I have 2 Thoughtseize as sort of a catch-all. I thought about Mystical Dispute. I think Thoughtseize is better It also happens to be one of my better answers to hate cards like Leyline of the Void or Rest in Peace. I only have one Feed the Swarm. I don't think Feed the Swarm is a very good card, especially for this deck. 2 is way worse than 1, and I definitely don't want to pay 3, but it also costs you life, which, you know, this deck is doing a fair amount of fetching and shocking. And my only life gain source is Luris, so the life is a lot to pay. But 1 Feed the Swarm is nice to have an answer to some enchantments you might come up against. I would like to play a second, again, if I had more room. And I think if I did cut the Nile spell bombs, or not cut, but like move them to the main and cut the baubles, which I think is a place this deck could go if we wanted to. I think that I would probably, the first thing I'd add is a second Feed the Swarm, and then I'd probably add 2 Young Pyromancers just because, again, I want to be better against Graveyard Hate, and right now I really only have 4 cards that win well through Graveyard Hate. I mean, I can still use Snapcaster to win, that's fine, but it's just a 2-1 at that point, which may or may not be enough. We'll see. And then I have 2 Damnations for when you play against Swarm decks. I mean, if I play against Boggles, I'm going to need the Damnations just to have a chance, but again, like you might play against Heliod, you'll probably want the Damnations, Elves, Goblins, anything like that. You're probably going to want Damnations for swarmy creature decks, and I'll be happy to bring them in there. It's just definitely the type of effect a deck like this is going to need access to. But that's what we have going on here. Let's get into some games and see how the deck plays out. I'm actually really excited to play with this, and I know Mr. Corey Burkhart is even more excited to see that we broke Modern and he can play Grixis again. All right, let's get into it. All right, won the die roll. You'll love to see it. I am going to reveal Luris. Yeah, buddy. Oh man, starting with 8 cards in your 8 cards in your hand, your control deck is excellent. And this is a great hand. I've got, well, it could be a great hand. It could also be a very bad hand. But I'm going to keep it. If we're playing against a deck where Force Negation's good, this hand's going to be excellent. If we're playing against a deck that casts a lot of creatures, probably not going to be great, but Archmage's Charm does something against decks, you know, like Swift Spear decks or whatever, so it could do something. And then I've got a lot of card draw to find stuff, so Windswept Heath. Probably not going to be a great Force Negation matchup. We'll see. Might have got a Forest. I'm Force Negationing that. I think this is going to be very dead, so I'm going to fire it off. Boom! No Utopia Sprawl for you. Opponent with green stuff. If opponent is... Hey, Crocs was actually pretty good on curve here. I do think I have to get Watery Grave, so we're going to fetch Shock. I don't think my mana is going to work if I don't do this. I will point out, okay, red, so maybe Panza. I'll tell you what my deck really doesn't want to see is Blood Moon. Don't want to see Blood Moon. At all, even a little bit. I really don't want to play against Blood Moon with this deck, I'm going to be honest. So hopefully opponent doesn't have Blood Moon. It might be tough. We might be in for a long one here. Temple Garden. Well, that doesn't scream Blood Moon. It's like a Naya deck, maybe. We'll find out. Wall of Omens. Ooh, we're doing some Blinky stuff. You know what? I don't know how good of a matchup that is for me, but I can get behind it. Blinky stuff is sweet. You'll notice I have 2 Steam Vent, 2 Watery Grave, and 2 Blood Crypt. I think it's important in this deck to have doubles of all your shocks because the shocks are super important. And we have Thought Scour and Factor Fiction, so it's pretty easy for them to end up in the graveyard. And when they do end up in the graveyard, you know, just very important to have just duplicates so I can cast my spells because, again, this deck is so color intensive. Also, if I'm going to cast an Archmage's Charm here, I do need to decide... Oh, they have Yorgan in their deck? I missed that. They definitely have Yorgan in their deck. I do think Steam Vents is a slightly better grab here than Watery Grave. Specifically because I have more Creeping Tar Pits than Cascade Bluffs, so I'm more likely to draw a black source than a red source, which is why I'm getting the double red first. That was awkward. I would love a land. We didn't draw a land. Again, not great. I was really hoping to draw a land there. It's okay, we did draw interaction at least. We have K-Command and Mana Leak, so we have something to do here, but yeah. We have 3/4 mana spells in our hands, so any land would have been significantly better than either of these two. But it's still early enough we can easily draw out of it, and these Factor Fictions are going to power us in the late game, so not overly concerned at the moment. But definitely wanted to draw a land there. Missing a land drop in your control deck stinks. We are playing 24, which is slightly on the low side for control decks. Ooh, Tireless Tracker. I don't like that. I'm going to Mana Leak it. No, you know what? I'm not going to Mana Leak it. I'm going to let it happen. I'm going to let them play their land. I'm going to let them get their clue. If it's a fetch land, I'm going to be sad. I'm very sad. They're not going to fetch main, so that's going to be a pain. I do still need to just do this now. I'd rather save the Mana Leak for like something like a Yorion or something that gets more value. So I'm going to destroy target artifact and deal 2 damage to the tracker. Yeah. It's not great. They still come out plus a card in this, but it's not the end of the world for me either. And the tracker's off the table. Plus the K-Command wasn't great here anyway. It's fine. It just wasn't great. And we still have the Mana Leak next turn to kind of take care of anything that's problematic, like a Blood Moon where K-Command couldn't answer that. I don't think opponent has Blood Moon necessarily because of Yorion and they don't have planes, but maybe they do. We'll see. Land, beautiful. And now we can play Cryptic. We still can't bring back Kroxa, but at least we have Cryptic / Factor Fiction here. And now, like, if they spend their turn cracking this clue and not really doing anything too bad for me, the fact that I can fire off a Factor Fiction here and just get value is going to be excellent. They might have something like a Restoration Angel here. I would totally buy that, but again, I'm not going to not cast my Foff. I think it's pretty unlikely they have something like a Mana Tide that would punish me. So if they want to get a Resto in play, sure. Ooh, and this is pretty good. Let's see how they split it. I definitely want lands at the moment. I am way more likely to take lands, and I don't think they're going to give me a pile with a ton of lands. But if they like split 3 and 2, I would snap off the 3 lands here, I believe. But if I could get Snapcaster and the land in the same pile, that'd be excellent. Yeah, like if they... Oh. How are we splitting it? 3-2? Yeah, I'm going to choose pile 2. I got spells. I just want to hit my lands. I missed too many drops here. And I want to be able to bring back Kroxa and have Mana Leak up. That would be a great spot to find myself in. So hopefully we can get there. I already have a Swamp, so I could have double black, but I'm probably just going to fetch a tapped Watery Grave here. I could actually get a Blood Crypt. Blood Crypt would also be reasonable. I already have enough basics that I'm playing around Blood Moon. There's actually an argument I could get an island here just in case they have something crazy like Blood Moon in their deck. Doesn't really look like they're going to. But, I mean, when you're playing Grixis, you aren't destroying enchantments, so you got to have Blood Moon on the mind. You got to think about it. Very important. I don't really want to let this Angel resolve. They could easily have Kiki Jiki in their deck. And while I could counter Kiki, hitting this stops them from drawing a card and stops a threat from entering the battlefield. I think I'm just going to counter draw. It does give them free reign next turn to do something, but I think it's fine. We're now well up on cards. Like, yeah, they got value out of their tracker, but they haven't really converted that to anything yet. And like if they played Yorion here and got a card out of it, that's fine. I can deal with a Yorion at some point. They did take a turn to put Yorion in their hand, so it does seem reasonable that they would play it this turn. And yep, they're playing Yorion, and that's fine. I mean, this is a good play by them. They put a body in play that's going to pressure me, and they get to draw a card, and that's good. But, you know, it's the type of thing we'll be able to deal with pretty easily at some point, so not super concerned. And the big thing here is that I now get to play Kroxa with Mana Leak up, which is exactly where we want to be. Start attacking their value. Yeah. Get a clock in play. This is beautiful. Alright, so definitely going to get rid of the lands first. And then after the lands... I don't know. Tough decision. I guess Snapcaster Mage. And probably... Cryptic. I have another Cryptic. I'll get rid of the Foff. I should maybe leave Snap and get rid of the other Cryptic in my hand. Yeah. There we go. It's because I have doubles of these cards. I think it's totally reasonable. And Kroxa can actually race Yorion. It's very possible. I'm also pretty well protected from anything crazy happening here. And if they do have something like a Path to Exile, well, that's fine. I would let Kroxa get Pathed. I really just don't want to let something crazy happen here. Like, it is a Yorion deck. They could have wild stuff like Karn or, I don't even know, crazy Planeswalkers. Who knows? And against most of the like really powerful plays they could have, Mana Leak should be good enough here. We'll see what happens. We'll see what they have. Cord. I don't like that. Are they playing around Leak? I mean, if they're cording for some small amount, that's fine. It does seem like they're trying to play around Leak, but right now they're only cording for 2, which is not that strong. 3 again is probably fine. If they cord for 4, for 3, yep. I mean, they're very much playing around Leak here, which makes sense, but there's not a ton of 3-mana things that scare me. I guess, like, Tireless Tracker is kind of bad. Oh, Skyclave Apparition? Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. It's not ideal, certainly, but it's fine. Something I can make do with. Like here, I can just bolt the Skyclave app and move on with my life. I am just going to play this Watery Grave tapped. Again, I just want to keep getting these lands in play. Just keep building up. As the late game goes on, I'm going to be able to get Lurrus, and as long as I don't take too much damage here, I should be in a pretty good spot. Yeah. I guess while they don't have Resto up, I'm probably supposed to bolt the Skyclave just so it doesn't get restoed. It wouldn't be like the biggest deal. I don't know how many permanents they're going to hit, but it'd be fine. Like, the thing would stay alive and there'd just be more power on board. So I want to just, you know, get stuff going again before that happens. Alright, we are on a clock. Although, you know, Cryptic Command can solve a ton of issues, so I could certainly find myself in a spot. They also only have 3 cards in hand. They don't have a ton going on. I'm going to Foff again, I believe. Ooh, and this is pretty good. Valky's nice here. I can cast it with Mana Leak up 2 turns from now? Yeah, they 4-1'd it. That's wild. I mean, I'm going to choose pile 1. This seems awesome for me. Oh my god, this deck draws so many cards. It's so good. It's so wonderful. Look, it's glorious. Yeah, just going to play this tapped. Again, just getting the tap lands in place seems pretty good. Attacking doesn't do all that much. They just block with their walls, so not overly concerned. Oh, you even have another Foff? It's so good. So good. I am starting to get a little low on life total here, but I do think there's a chance I Cryptic bounce this. Maybe we wait one more turn. Opponent's starting to get into kind of a rough spot. where they're just low on resources, and my hand is loaded. I mean, I do only have 4 spells right now, but we're starting to get to the point where I have a ton of mana in play, and this is not where you want to be against Grixis. I'm going to be able to kind of stop most of the things they do. And pretty soon, you know, when I find the next Kroxa, we're going to be in good shape. Very good shape indeed. Elder Gargledon. I'm going to Cryptic that. Counter target spell, draw a card. Drew a mountain. Okay, so now these fetch lands are like mostly dead. One of them can find another island, which isn't great. Kind of wish I'd fetched the mountain. But it is what it is. Ooh, looks like we're casting something else. Eternal Witness. I don't like Eternal Witness. I'm gonna... Oh. Let's see what they're drawing first, I guess. No real reason to do this. They're drawing Court of Calling. Okay, I mean, that's something I'm definitely going to want to force negation. I am going to mana leak this. Good to know, though. Alright. Drew the Creepy Carpet. I'll take it. Yeah, just going to play it. I'm going to cast this. And going to put Lurrus in my hand. I am going to need to deal with this Yorion here in the near future, which I am not great at doing currently, although I can play Valky next turn with Lurrus. I can go Mountain, Lurrus, Valky minus and be at 1. Which scares me because I've seen Bone Crusher Giant, but I think it's okay? Question mark. We're playing a little loose here. Fast and loose. The way I love to play MTG. The best way. The only way. Fast and loose. They do only have 1 card outside of Court of Calling, which is good to note. And what are they drawing? I guess, well, we do know they'll draw it because I'm definitely countering this chord. Oust. Oust is totally fine. That is a very fine draw step. And that is perfect. Actually drawing it is so much better. Is so much better than using Lurrus here, because now I can actually hardcast Force. It is going to be awkward if they draw something, and they could certainly draw something that kills me here. Absolutely. But I know I'm going to counter the chord, and then, you know, if they have a Bone Crusher Giant in their hand, they get me. And I just kind of need to accept it at this point. I've played a dangerous game. With Yorion here. I let it do a lot of damage to me, which I think was right, given where I was at, but I think this is going to end up being good. I guess I could have plussed and ousted the Yorion, given that I know Oust is happening. Or I knew Oust was on top of their deck. That's actually interesting. Maybe I was supposed to do that. Regardless, I am not letting them cord for 4. Because that would get a Restoration Angel and save their Yorion and also kill me. But next turn I can cast Yorion and blink my Tibalt, which gives me a 2-1. That's probably not great. I could do it. I actually am in kind of a sweet spot where I can play Lurrus, Snapcaster. They conceded! Yes! Sweet victory! I was going to say I could play Lurrus, play Snapcaster, Bolt or K-Command them, and then play Yorion and blink it. Oh, it's so good. It's so good! Do you see how much value we got there, people? So much value. It's unbelievable how much value was there. Just the best kind of value. Opponent did have Court of Calling, and we did get to use a Force of Negation on a Utopia Sprawl, but yeah, no, I think we're supposed to board out Force of Negation here. Aether Gust is going to be much better in my opinion. Outside of that, I think I can board out Thought Scour. Thought Scour, you know, mostly stinks, although I could also cut a Bobble. I'll go 1 Scour. The old 1 Thought Scour trick. Hashtag Mize. Hashtag Mize. Let them know. All right, back for game 2 here. Man, casting Factor Fiction felt good. It felt really good. I'm not going to lie to the people. I have tried, full disclosure, I've tried a version of this deck that did not have Factor Fiction, instead had 4 Thought Scours. It was pretty evident that that was not right. That deck was not very good. It was fine. It wasn't great. This hand is good, though. Probably going to lead on Steam Vent here. So I have Thought Scour and Bolt. Especially if they play an Elf. If they don't play an Elf, a little less likely. Maybe I'm just supposed to play Tarpit. Nah, now that I can play Tarpit on 3, I'm definitely going to lead on Steam Vent here. And I probably do Thought Scour myself. I probably do. We'll see. There's some chance I want to Fatal Push, but I kind of want to say Fatal Push for the more expensive creatures. Yeah. It definitely stinks against decks like this that, you know, you end up needing to Fatal Push things like Eternal Witness or Wall of Omens because all of their creatures, you know, get value from those cards. But it's one of those things where you kind of just have to suck it up and do it. That said, I'm not going to take damage here if I don't need to. I'd rather just, you know, pass with stuff up. I think I could get away with playing Tar Pit here, but I don't want to risk it in case they have a Blood Moon. There's just not a huge reason to risk it. Like, I certainly could, but I can also just play Polluted Delta and fetch a Watery Grave end of turn, or get a Swamp, or any of these things, and have Aether Gust, plus Bolt, plus Thought Scour up, all these things. I just have a ton of options. So I'm just going to wait on playing the Tar Pit. I think 3 is ideal, given that Aether Gust protects me from the most devastating of plays my opponents could have here. It doesn't look like they have Blood Moon based on how they're fetching. Generally, players that board in Blood Moon tend to fetch basics early, and that's a pretty telltale sign. If you're scared of Blood Moon and your opponent starts fetching basics in 3-color decks, you should have Blood Moon on your radar. They may or may not have it, but if they're fetching basics early in 3-color decks, you should probably assume they might have boarded it in at least. How do I feel about Seasoned Pyromancer? I think that's probably worth Aether Gusting. And I'm just going to get Swamp here. Again, just have Blood Moon on the radar. Also, I already have triple blue, so I'm not worried about Archmage's Charm or Cryptic Command. And Swamp is still going to let me cast Lurrus the way my hand is set up, so I think this is fine. Second Aether Gust here is pretty nice. Lets me Gust the Seasoned Peasy again, because they did top it, and I assume they'll probably cast it. If they're missing a land here, this goes super well for me. I will Gust again. I do like Aether Gust. This is a nice card. There's a chance it should be 4 of this. Bottom. Ooh, they bottom, and they're missing their land drop. So those Gusts paid off big time here. You love to see it. I do think I could put Lurrus in my hand this turn. I actually think it's a great turn to do it. Because now I'm threatening doing it next turn. I can still leave up Thought Scour and Bolt. Yeah, I think this is a fantastic turn to put Lurrus in my hand. So I'm just going to do that. It does give them a window to resolve something, certainly. But, like, they were going to resolve it anyway. They just didn't necessarily know. Like, now they know they can resolve the thing. But, again, they're kind of mana screwed. They might not have a great play to make to begin with. So, this works out perfect. And I can Thought Scour myself. I milled not Mishra's Bauble. I would have much rather milled Mishra's Bauble, but it's fine. Well, Lurrus doesn't give me any value, so playing it into a kill spell's not excellent. I think I'm just going to play a Tarn and try to fetch a second red source in case I do draw a Croxa at some point. Probably Blood Crypt here. Eladamri's Call, sure. I assume they end up getting like a Witness, or they probably have to get an Eternal Witness, right, just to get back a fetch land. Thrun? That's a pretty hard card for me to deal with. Alright. Well, there you have it. I can race it with a Lurrus, I guess. Kind of. Yeah. Alright, we're racing. We're going to try to race. Race mode engaged. Yeah. Well, do I bolt them? Just send a message? Bolt you. You. I think I do. This is not a good play, but it does send a message, which is important. You let them know. When your opponent's at 17 and you're end step bolting them, you'll let them know. It's good. I got a lot of fatal pushes. Those don't kill Thrun, it turns out. But I can play Lurrus here, and Lurrus is probably going to die. It doesn't get any value here, so this is not the best Lurrus of all time. But if they kill the Lurrus, I have Cake Man to get it back, which is good. It is good. Thrun's a pretty mean one. That's, yeah. That's a tough one to beat. It's an annoying card. Damnation doesn't... Oh, wait. They can't regenerate with Damnation. I have outs. We have outs. Very critical. We have outs. We also can race it. And that's actually kind of the beauty of this deck. Is that you can race a lot of stuff because you have a lot more burn than it looks like you have. Look at this. They can't even attack. They know they're losing the race. It's glorious. So glorious. Oh, we drew the out. Let's go. It's... I mean... There's a Lurrus in play, so it's like not amazing. it's not amazing here. I am 2-for-1 myself, but you know, it's fine. I think we've already established that we want to send a message. Today's about sending messages. I'm firing up the tar pit, baby. Let's go. One creepy boy. Sadly, if they kill it, I can't use Kakuman or Lurrus to bring it back. So that is a little bit annoying. Sometimes you just got to get in there. Just send a message. Don't have a Bone Crusher Giant. Don't have a Bone Crusher Giant. Don't have a Bone Crusher Giant. Yes! Damage done. Message sent. Yeah, let the beatdowns commence. This is good. This is really good. I even have 2 more direct damage. They don't even know. They're on a 3-turn clock. And if they attack, it's like a 1.5-turn clock. Also, if they play like other stuff, it all dies, which is kind of cool. I have many kill spells. Very many kill spells. Ella Damry's Call. Opponent is tutoring up a storm over there. What do they got? Bone Crusher Giant. No! My creepy carpet! Please kill Lurrus and not the carpet. Yes! Yes! You'll love to see it. Well, you don't love it, but, you know, it's fine. We accept that. We accept that in these parts. I do like that they had to spend 4 mana to kill Lurrus, and he just comes right back. It's like he never left. It's like he never left, baby. Alright, and now I'm kind of hoping that they play the Bone Crusher this turn so I can just fire off this Damnation and get thrown out of here. I think they'll probably leave Regeneration up, which doesn't make that much sense because I can't target it. And the only sweeper I'm going to have is Damnation. Yeah, they do play it. And that makes sense. You probably should play it there. I do think I'm supposed to do 2 damage here instead of making them discard. Just because of how the math works out with the creepy carpet. Oh, it's glorious. Glorious. Veil of Summer. That's kind of brutal. Does save them 2 life, I guess. Ooh, Croxa 2. Oh, that's actually really nice. That's quite sweet. Yeah, let's cast the Damnation. I can't also play Lurrus, so we'll Croxa. You have Croxa ready to go next turn. I will say, I've had some brutal Veil... Magus of the Moon! What? What is that? Fired off my K command. I might be in trouble if they have another. Let's hope that's not the case. Fingers crossed. I'm gonna look real dumb. I guess I could kill a Magus with a Fatal Push. Boil? Opponent's just out here being a hater, man. I swear. That is not good for me. But we can bring Croxa back. Perfect. What a top deck. The carpet looking real nice here, too, for the record. Well, let's get rid of all these lands that have conveniently given me Croxa fuel. Yeah. Opponent came heavy with the hate today. They woke up, drank their haterade, and got to work. But I came hungrier. I was hungrier, baby. I wanted it more. Yup. You gotta want it. And I wanted it today. Also, still, please don't Magus the Moon me. Plez. Spite Bellows. The heck is going on? That's still not even good, though. What? Alright, well. This is why Crocs is busted. It's just coming back again next turn like it never left. Come on, Croxa. Alright, I want an Aether Gust. Let's keep getting rid of all these lands. Beautiful. And if they kill Croxa again this turn, still never left. Also, he's like eating their hand right now. I mean, this is 2 cards per go around here. Like, if they kill it, it's another card. I guess they kind of have to hope for Skyclave. Skyclave's probably the best answer. But yeah, I mean, there's a Resto down. Like, Crocs is just eating their hand here, and he is not fulfilled yet. He's still hungry, my friend. Would really like to draw another land here in the future so that... Oh, all my islands are gone too. Well, Magus the Moon is just truly horrendous for me at this point. I do at least still have my swamp, so that's good. It's a good swamp. Skyclave app? Sure, that makes sense. So Crocs is going to be down, but again, like, it just was so many resources for them. And... you know, they're still not out of, like, I mean, they have 1 card in hand after this. And if they do get Yorion, I have the mana leak for that already. I'm going to need something to die before I can use the push, but that's awkward. I had a lot of blue mana. I don't really have a lot of blue mana anymore. So, yeah, a little awkward, a little bit, but it's okay. Man, if you had Boil in your hand, how did you not Bone Crusher the carpet earlier? Well, they didn't, so here we are. And now that I've seen an opponent has rude cards like Boil, well, I don't really want to take this mana leak down, but, you know, here we are. Yorion in hand, sure. Sure. Are we casting anything else? No, just trying to get Yorion up to player on mana leak range. Makes sense. It's another hard card to cast with my current mana configuration. I don't love it. Any fetch land in my deck would be amazing. Fetch land would allow me to do a lot of things here, I'll say that. I get to kill the Skyclave app, get a 2/2, cast Cryptic and Archmage's Charm. Fetch lands would be quite good here. A lot of them are in my exile zone, so not super clear that I can use fetch land here. The other thing that's a problem is we've already seen 1 Veil of Summer, so they probably have more than that. And I don't really want to get Veil of Summer again. The first time was enough for me for this iteration of my lifetime. Let's say that. Although they do only have 1 other card in hand. Red? Sure. Okay, fetch land. Deck, please. Please? Huh. That's really not it. And now my mana leak's not live. Yeah. Yep. Tough spot. Tough spot indeed. Do I trade off? I don't really think I can afford it. I do think, however, this just means I end up dying here. Just because the opponent binned like 10 of my lands. Opponent has aggressively played around Mana Leak, which has been unfortunate for me. Yeah. I do have another Damnation in my deck, which would be a great draw here. I'll say that. Deck. Land. That's not the worst. It plays, I guess I'd say. I still get to have Mana Leak up. Mana Leak's not super effectual at this point, sadly. But at least Urian's dead, which is good. Hopefully I'll draw a land at some point in the future. Or really just any good spell. Like Lightning Bolt would also be good. If I could draw one of those, that'd be cool. Maybe. Please, deck. Anytime. Bolt me. Yeah, alright. Well, we lost to a Skyclave Ebb. We really lost to the Boil. It was not a fun Boil. It was in fact quite rude. Kind of makes me want to bring in Thoughtseizes. Probably better than Mana Leak. Opponent has respected the crap out of Mana Leak, so... yeah. Yep. Alright. I think we're in a good spot still, maybe? Question mark. I do like that it doesn't look like they have Blood Moon, it looks like they have Magus of the Moon, which Valky can actually take out of their hand, which is nice. That is a nice little aspect of the card. And here's Valky, right on time. How do I want to sequence this? Well, given we saw Boil, I definitely want to lead on a Blood Crypt. Also, I have 2 islands and a Kroxa, which is not really a combo, as it turns out. A little awkward there, but I mean, it's fine. Everything's fine. Don't panic, chat. I'm not panicking, you're panicking. Alright. I'm going to get me a Blood Crypt. That's a good draw. Alright, so Valky's going to tell us what's up. Let me know if I need to play around Boil or Magus of the Moon or any such thing. Well, I got a Veil of Summer here. But I get to take the card that really matters, so that's good. I can actually turn Valky into a Restoration Angel and just get the beats going. That's kind of sweet. I do think, though, that if they offered the trade, I would. I'll say that. Just because I have Lurrus in my hand, so it seems mostly free. Or not in my hand, but in my companion zone, if you will. Knowing about Veil of Summer is good. That's a scary card. So something I'm certainly going to have to play around. It looks like Windswept Heath is gone. And they drew birds for turn. So their hand is Veil, Arbor Elf, Eladamri's Call, Plains. Nope. Veil, Eladamri's Call, Arbor Elf. Or Veil, Eladamri's Call, Plains. Bolt is quite good. What do I want to do here? I think the answer is I'm supposed to attack with Valky. I don't think they'll trade. If they do trade, again, I'm fine with it. They did trade. Interesting. I believe that's pretty good for me. It does give him access to Angel next turn, which is a little awkward, but certainly not the end of the world. And I'm going to Lightning Bolt the Arbor Elf here. And they're going to play, or they're going to get their Veil online, which is fine. I'm going to play the Bloodstained Mire. I think I'm probably supposed to get a Blood Crypt just to get closer to Kroxa and continue playing around Boil because we've seen it. But Swamp also makes a lot of sense here. No, I think I'm going to get Swamp. It plays around the most things. So yeah, I think that's right. Alright, well their Plains is gone. They now have a Restoration Angel and Eladamri's Call, a Veil of Summer, and one card I do not know in hand. They drew Magus of the Moon. Well, good news for me is I have a Snapcaster and a Bolt. I am going to get my Swamp. So this is good. And they're going to try to protect it with Veil of Summer, but Veil doesn't stop Lightning Bolt, which is good. It's good for me. I do need to do this before they get to untap, sadly. But it's cool that I can play Steam Vent here and not take damage, and then have Snap Bolt ready. Okay. And this Crocs is going to be pretty good. Opponent's starting to get somewhat low on resources. They also, like, they have other colors, but they're low on mana. Like, they're a pretty mana-intensive deck, and they do some expensive things. So Crocs attacking their hand here is going to be quite good. Crocs is also immune to Veil. It says each opponent, which is very important for my current situation, as it turns out. Okay, Utopia Sprawl's good for the opponent. That's a very strong draw. But I still like my spot. Just main phasing Angels, sure, that's fine. Doesn't get them all that far. And here I get to Kroxa and hit either Veil of Summer or Eladamri's Call. Either way is quite good for me. And then I probably do put Lurrus in my hand, I would imagine. So they get rid of the Veil. That's fine. And now I have Lurrus, so it's going to be very hard for the opponent to race. Like, they're only doing 3. They certainly can... Like, Eladamri's Call... Oh, Wall of Blossoms. That's fine. It's not, like, spectacular. They probably are putting Urian in their hand this turn. Which, again, is, like, fine but unspectacular. And they did, okay. And they'll be able to cast it next turn and get some value, but it's not, like, amazing by any means. Oh my goodness, I get to Damnation here? That's, like, even better than any of my other things. Yeah. I'm gonna attack for sure and then just cast Damnation, I think. They do block, fair. But now if they jam a Urian, it just gets them no value, and they can't even necessarily cast it. I mean, maybe they can. But it's not clear they can. I could have waited, I guess, and also eaten the Urian. It does let them get some value, but I think if they don't have land here, they're in a really rough spot. Okay, they did have land, but again, it's not like necessarily amazing for them. And I do think because I have triple blue and I've seen Boil, I am just going to get the other Blood Crypt here. I just don't want to lose to something really rude and awful. Ooh, that's actually quite good. I don't know how they race Kroxa. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And so now I'm set up. I have Aether Gust backup for Kroxa. I mean, they certainly have things that could beat it. But they don't have enough white mana to Eladamri's Call for Skyclave here. They did discard Bone Crusher, so their only card in hand right now is an Eladamri's Call. And I can Gust that, which is good. Oh, and now they have the white mana they need? Spectacular. I also have access to 6 mana, so I'm 1 land away from being able to cast the back half of Tybalt with Lurrus. Wait, can I do that? I assume I can do that. I don't actually know if I can do that. I don't think I can do that. No, wait, I think I can do that. I don't know. I guess we're going to find out. I have no idea if I can do this or not. Either way, land's a fantastic draw next turn because then I can play Foff and Luris in the same turn, which would be great. Opponent's just in a rough spot here. Kroxa does a lot of damage when it attacks. It is really hard to race, especially when you're like on low resources. Okay, Cryptic Command. Well, alright, well, I was going to say, now opponent just has no outs because they're going to 5 here. So they're drawing Eladamri's Call, but I just Cryptic it, and then the game's over. I guess I could bounce Urian. It doesn't really matter, though. Counter target spell, draw a card. That's not how you cast that card, though. Right, let's actually cast it. Counter target spell, draw a card. And that's a GG. Kroxa brought the hunger, baby. Yeah, it was nice. It was nice. All right, we are back for round 2. We won another die roll, which is excellent. Absolutely going to reveal Luris. If this hand had 1 blue source, I'd keep, but we have to ship, sadly. This hand seems fine. It's fine. I'm going to keep... The question is, do I bottom Foff or Cryptic? I think because one of the ways I'm going to win this game is to get Kroxa online, I should bottom Cryptic. Realistically, it's somewhat likely either get pitched to Force Negation anyway, so I don't think it's like the end of the world. Alright, opponent's on 6, we're on 6, so we got a fair game incoming. I'm going to do the old Bobble myself trick here. You can use Bobble like a 0 mana opt. If you look at your top card, Scalding Tarn. I would like to draw a Scalding Tarn. So I'm just going to play the Steam Vent tapped, and then pass. And the next turn I'm probably fetching Watery Grave and casting Kroxa, I assume. Opponent just skipped through their turn. What? Oh. That was not intentional. I was like, am I playing this Manaless Dredge? What's happening? Alright, we're going to be good guys. Alright, they're Tron. We shouldn't have been good guys. Why did we try to be good guys? I should have just taken my free win. Darn. Okay, well, I think this game would have been easy if I had just accepted the good fortune I was given, but that's not realistic testing, so I think that's the best I can do. Well, not the best, but I think it's the fairest. They discarded Walking Ballista. I don't think it hurts me to play Bobble, and I guess, like, getting out of the way before they play a 4-mana card, if they play a 4-mana card, makes sense. I don't know. I probably, if they Sylvan Scrying here, I think I'm Force of Negationing. Yikes. Alright, well, hopefully they just don't draw it, because I got nothing. This is it. This is all of the things. That's all I got. What are they drawing? So they have Tower and Mine. And Power Plant entered the revealed card zone. Feels bad, man. Feels very bad. All right. Yep. Yeah. Uh-huh. Yep. Well. All right. Yeah, that's in there. You got it, bud. Oh, because of course Power Plant was on top of the library. Why wouldn't it be? Why not? Yeah. Yep. Big yup. And of course, Tron player just jams threat into 3 open mana, but you know, the deck always does. They never think about it. That's why Mana League's so good against them. Like, you wouldn't think Mana League's supposed to be good against Tron, but it is. Yeah, that was frustrating. I can bring back Kroxa, but it's really not getting me anywhere. I'm just gonna pack it in. That Power Plant just being on top there after I use the Force Negation, like, realistically, like, I made a gamble there, and it probably wasn't worth it. Like, I could have just let that resolve and then Force of Negation their play. I think given that they're on a mold of 6, there was high enough upside there. Obviously, I got super punished for it, and in retrospect, I wish I, hadn't made the play, but we did, and it's where we're at, so it is what it is. Alright, so I'm going to cut some bolts. I do need a few bolts just to make sure I can close out the game. But I definitely want to cut some, and I think Valky's pretty bad. It's like, okay. I guess, I'll cut a Thought Scour. Thought Scour is so bad. There's maybe an argument to have Surgical, so I can, like, Thought Scour them, or Cleansing Wildfire them, and then Surgical. Well, I'm not going to say this hand's spectacular, but it's not terrible. I do think it's a keep. Opponent's on 6, so hopefully the early thoughts... Yeah, they're on 5. Hopefully... Alright, 4 now, jeez. Hopefully an early Thoughtseize here can take away, like, if they keep a map or something. The disaster scenarios, they, like, mold a 3 and they just have 3 Tron lands, because yeah, that'd be not good for me. Alright. Well. I'm nervous this isn't going to go well, but it's alright. I think we're okay. Everything's fine. It's all fine. Tower. Okay, we knew about that one. Chromatic Star. Alright, I'm glad I took Scrying. Alright, so let's bobble us. I could bobble them, but it's more important to find Cleansing Wildfire, I believe. I revealed another bobble. I don't really want another bobble. But also I could Thought Scour myself now. That seems fine. Bend a Leak. Okay, so I'm not going to say we're in a great spot necessarily, but it's not a bad spot either. All right, Crocs is actually a decent draw. There's the Mine. They're not even cracking the Star. They just have it. They have it. That card is the Power Plant again. I can feel it in my bones. I feel it. You're not tricking me, Bielzito. I'm not falling for it. You drew the Power Plant. I can feel it. I'm holding up this Archmage's Charm. I'm holding it up so hard. I'm not getting Karn this turn. No siree. I knew it! I knew it! Get out of here! Ridiculous. Just out here just ripping the perfect card every turn. What's it like to be a Tron player? I swear. No. Absolutely not. Ooh, and we drew Cleansing Wildfire. Interesting. It's like pretty good to Cleansing Wildfire them here. I think I'm going to Cryptic this turn. I actually really like the idea of see what they do, Cryptic their play, and then O-Stone. O-Stone's fine. O-Stone doesn't really do all that much to me. And so here I'm going to bounce draw and just get a Watery Grave. Return target permanent to its owner's hand, draw a card, and I'm going to return the mine. We know they draw the power plants. Oh no, I'm supposed to return the power plant and hit the mine because I know they draw the power plant. They love drawing power plant. This specific Tron player has an affinity for drawing power plant. It is known. It is known. But here, I can hit the power plant with this here Cleansing Wildfire. And now I can Kroxa, which I think is going to be quite good. And then next turn, I can snap Cleansing Wildfire and then Kroxa again. Ooh, I even drew a bolt. That'll help me clock him. Now they have to either discard the other Tron land or, yeah, the Ulamog. Okay, so Ulamog's a pretty easy discard there. I don't think there's a whole bunch of argument on that front. Alright, so they've got another star. But here I think it's a pretty easy snap Cleansing Wildfire and hit the mine. And then I can bring back Kroxa the following turn. I would have liked to hit a land there, but it's okay. We're doing okay. We've got a clock on. We've got a Kroxa. They're 2 Tron pieces away, which is huge. If they don't play a Tron piece this turn, then I don't think they can win anymore. Maybe. They would need to get somewhat lucky. Okay, so they played a Tron piece, but it's not the right one. So now I can bring back Kroxa, and it gets the last card out of their hand, which is important. It just keeps attacking their resources. They'll probably be able to Oblivion Stone it on the next turn, or at least it's decently likely. But again, that doesn't, like, answer Kroxa. Like, Kroxa's still... Ooh. I can also Thoughtseize here and K-Command in their draw step and hit the O-Stone. Make them discard. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. That sounds quite good. Nature's Claim. What does that hit? I don't have anything that you can Nature's Claim. I guess they could try to hit my Bobble. That's probably not going to work very well for them, though. Destroy target artifact. Target player discards a card, destroy target artifact. You and your Oblivion Stone. So if the card they drew was good, they can crack Star here. That's a totally reasonable line of play. But they need like a bunch of things to happen here. So basically the only thing I try to protect is a Tron land that's not tower specifically, because they know Kroxa is coming back next turn, and at that point, yeah, I don't know. Interesting. We're actually kind of a low life total too. So they have not damaged us. We've done 13 damage to ourselves. I could board in shadows. We could just be the shadow deck. Opponents, look at me. Look at me. I'm the shadow deck now. I am the Shadow deck now. Captain Phillips reference. Just for the record. Alright, they've seen enough. Maybe they just didn't want to show me the card they were discarding? I don't know. They were not winning that game, certainly. That game was pretty locked. The tough one is going to be this game here. We're on the draw. This one might be tough. I don't think I really want to change anything, though. I like what's going on. I think maybe you could actually make an argument that I'm supposed to have a second Thought Scour just to make sure my blue count's a little higher. I could buy it. Bobble's not good. It's like fine. And if I board out the Bobble, they have less targets for Nature's Claim. Very important. Very, very important. The Nature's Claims are just in their deck because they respect Dampening Sphere, and you have to. So, like, I get it as a Tron player, but on the draw, opponent's on 6. This hand's pretty good if I can draw a red source. I have Cleansing Wildfire. I've got Thought Scour, which is another draw. I've got Cheap Interaction and Mana Leak. The opponent's already on 6. I think I certainly can have better 6s. If this Creeping Tar Pit was a Water Grave, I do think I'm 100% to keep. Given it's not, and I can't Thought Scour on 1, yeah, I think I'm supposed to ship. This hand's just absolutely rancid, but it casts Cleansing Wildfire, I guess. If I draw a Snapcaster, it's quite good. Sure, we'll keep. And bottom Mountain, I guess. The whole Stone Rain me out of the game thing is probably not going to happen here, so that's good, I guess. Cleansing Wildfire does cantrip, which is a real thing. I mean, that's good. Alright, Cryptic Command's a card. Cryptic Command's a card. So we actually have a curve of things we can do here, which is good. We can Cleansing Wildfire next turn, and then the turn after that. This opponent with their power plants, just always has it. I think Shocking Bloodcrypt is fine. I have Archmage's Charm in my deck. If I draw that, I'll be really sad I didn't get a blue source here. And the question is, which one do I hit? Tower or Power Plant? It's slightly better to hit Power Plant, irregardless of what is in their hand, just based on the fact that when they complete Tron, so like let's say I hit it, they get a forest, right? The next turn they like cycle through some stuff, they don't quite get there. Then the turn after, like let's say they draw a map and they have 3 lands in play. Well, they play they play land, crack map. If they have to go get Power Plant, they only get 2 extra mana that turn, whereas if they have to go get a tower, they get 3. So it is slightly better to hit non-tower lands. Although once they have Tron, it's better to have hit the tower lands, so it kind of has a balancing act. I think I'm going to go with the Power Plant, although I can already feel it biting me. Because this opponent loves to draw a Power Plant. We know this. Maybe I hit the tower. I'm going to hit the Power Plant. I feel it. I feel it in my bones. They don't have another one. Something just says hit the Power Plant. And I don't know what it is, but I feel it. Alright, Force Negation's not a terrible draw. It's a decent draw. O-Stone? Okay, I can accept O-Stone. I don't love this, but I can accept it. We have found a way to draw the lands. Okay, so as long as they don't have Tron into like creature here, we're mostly good? Question mark. That's good for me. That'll take. I guess I get blue-black. I don't know. My colors don't really matter. I have infinite lands. Mana Leak's good. Mana Leak is good. I guess I Delta. I kind of want to just play it slow here. The O-Stone isn't doing anything. I'm not particularly threatened by anything they're doing, and I'd like to have Mana Leak next turn so I can put Lurrus in my hand and still have interaction up. I could do it this turn with Force of Negation, but then I'm not protected against... What is this? You're like putting a fate counter on your oath. That doesn't do anything. Oh, whatever. It doesn't hurt you to do it either, so you may as well, I guess, but you have to sacrifice this to use it. You could, like, put one on your land, I guess. Alright, so gonna put Lurrus in the hand here and continue to draw the lands. We're doing a fantastic job of that. And we're mostly covered here. I could get Ulamog'd, but I at least have a leak for it, and it's like not the end of the world if I do. But if they like Wormcoil, I'm just snapping off the Mana Leak, and I'll be pretty happy with how the turn goes. Leak that. Alright, just gonna get the Carpet in play here. Carpet's actually pretty good. It's a threat that stays in play through an O-Stone. That's Tron. I'm scared. I'm scared. Please no. Not Utamog. No, he's so large. Alright, well. And not the Carpet? Really? I mean, okay. Counter target spell, draw a card. As long as I don't get Veil Summoned here, we're in decent shape. Didn't get Veil Sword, and we drew another land. Beautiful. You love to see it. Alright, that plays. I accept that. They have Tron, and we can't find a Cleansing Wildfire to save our life, which would be quite good here, but we obviously don't have it. So just not second Utamog, please. How do I feel about that? I think that's actually fine. I might regret letting that resolve, actually. I guess we'll see. I'm going to draw 2 cards here. We need to find action, which we have not done. I guess Tybalt answers it, right? I can... Tybalt minus. That's not going to do it. Oh, snap Cleansing Wildfire is here, though. I can do that. This would have been good like 15 turns ago. It would have been awesome. So we got to keep hitting the power plant. It's the thing that makes the power. That one. And Crocs is good. I guess I'm supposed to just tap out and cast it. This isn't great for me, and I probably end up having to chump block with Snap. But honestly, that's like fine. It's not great, certainly. But opponent also is like pretty low on cards. I mean, they have 1 card in hand now. Leyline of Sanctity. What? Opponent just has all of the I don't know what's happening things going on here. I will pitch this Snapcaster in a heartbeat if it's a Karn. That's fine-ish. It's not great. I'm going to let it happen and really hope this card's not Ulamog. I can beat like everything that's not Ulamog here. Don't beat Ulamog. Karn. Okay. I'm not in love that I have to do this, but it's fine. It plays. Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely blocking. It's not ideal, but I'm going to. It's a great turn to draw Thoughtseize. Never better. Do I bring back Croxa here? What if I Lurrus snap. I don't have quite enough mana to do anything or all of the things I want to do. So probably bringing back Kroxa here. This is probably fetching Swamp. If that's the case, I should main phase it, I believe. This Thoughtseize is pretty annoying. Doesn't really do anything. Black, red, red. Black, I guess. So Kroxa off 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So it's not great. I can trade with the Wormcoil here, which is probably where I'm gonna go. I don't love it, obviously. I love this even less. It's a really annoying card from the top deck, especially if it finds specifically a Karn. I'm kind of hoping it whiffs on threats and only sees lands, which is like not that likely because they have a ton of threats in their deck. Yeah. Karn Liberated. Yeah, no big deal. That's totally beatable. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Yep. We are in many troubles. Many troubles indeed. Alright, well, I get to bolt Karn. So there's that. You get to do that. And I've drawn another Polluted Delta, which is very far away from what I really wanted to draw there, but that's fine. Alright, Luris. I'm dead on board, aren't I? Yeah, I'm dead on board. They just put a Fate counter on their Wormcoil. See, Ozone. The Wormcoil, I guess I should have dealt with earlier. I don't think there's really an out here. I don't have... I'm one land away from bouncing this, which would at least be an out. I mean, it's still not good for me, certainly, but it's like an out. Maybe they don't see the line. I mean, I don't like have a better play than this, so if they don't see the line, I have an out. It seems like opponent will see the line, but if they don't see the line, I have an out. That was the card we needed. Just a little bit late. Turn late, as it turns out. Alright, well, as long as they don't put a Fate counter on Wormcoil, we're good. Oh, they can also just pop it. There's no way to use... There's no way they can find to use O-Stone here that doesn't kill me. Alright. Well... Yeah. Dead. I guess I could have dealt with the Wormcoil earlier, so maybe that's on me. I don't know. We ended the game. Keep in mind, I got Ulamoged and lost 2 lands this game. And we still ended the game with 8 lands in play and 2 more in hand. And a lot of lands in exile. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And we were playing 24 lands, and we see 18 of them in the 29 cards we saw. We did flood a little bit. I mean, we kept a 5-land hand, so that's going to happen. But, like, even having kept a 5-land hand, we, like, still flooded a decent amount. Which is why keeping 5-land hands is bad, for the record. Like, actively quite bad. Because people are like, oh, I've got a lot of lands in my hand. I'm less likely to draw lands. Like, no, the math does not support that. You're still... almost it's very similar percentages that you're going to draw land still, even if you keep a 5-land hand. So, like, I mean, that's a risk I was running keeping the hand, obviously. But I still think it was a fine keep, given that we had Cleansing Wildfire in it, which is our absolute best card in the matchup. I think if we had seen another one at any point, we would have been good. I think opponent got quite lucky in that game, which Tron players do seem to do, but the game one was pretty frustrating. Kind of tough. When the Dairo would I like to play first? I would. Alright. I think this hand's a keep. I don't think it's a spectacular hand. I guess Urian. Well, no, I kind of wish... Well, still a fine keep, I think. Just not spectacular by any means. Curious to see what kind of Urian deck they are. Are they like a green Urian deck? Those seem to be most of the Urian decks, if we're being honest. Alright, so let's bobble ourselves. See what we're drawing here. Drawing Swamp. I aggressively don't want to draw Swamp, so I'm going to fetch before I draw off Bobble. I'm just going to Steam Vent past, and then also Fatal Push the Hierarch before they get to use it. And then pass the turn. Alright, Lightning Bolt's probably a good draw. If they let on Hierarch, they probably have a decent amount of creatures in their deck. Ooh, the Kill the Hierarch ended up great for us there. Crocs is also quite good here. That was a fantastic draw. See what they discard here. I'm still not entirely sure what it is we're playing against. Temple Garden and Forest and Hierarch and Urian just says like Bant stuff to me, and it could be a lot of things. It could also just be straight like green-white Urian value. That's also a possibility. And Ghost Quarter actually makes me think it's green-white Urian value even more. I'm going to play Scalding Tarn here. If something comes up that I want to bolt, I'll fetch a Steam Vent and bolt. And if something doesn't do that, I'll probably just get like a tap something. Okay, so this feels... Maybe it's like a green-white Reclaimer. That's annoying. I can't quite kill that one. Ghost Quarter, you say, huh? Yeah. Well, Bolt looking way worse than Fatal Push here, I'll tell you what. I do think... So I can bring back Kroxa if I bolt them, but bolting them here is kind of loose. But it does mean they are very unlikely to cast Primeval Titan next turn. If I bring back Kroxa. Alright, sure. I talked me into it. I'll bolt them. I hate it. I wish this was a push really badly for this Dryad, but here we are. Second Kroxa, huh? Alright, well. Probably worse than the first one, but it is what it is. I at least have a clock on. And now if their hand is like Primetime plus 2 lands, they have to top deck one of the things they're missing. I assume... Nope, that's a Birds. I don't know what's going on. Maybe they just have a Valakut in hand. Maybe they're not even playing Primetime. It's not clear, I guess. Collected Company? What? Okay. Okay. You're collecting some company. I get it. I see. I see you there, bud. What are we getting is the question here. And also, if your hand here could be 2 spells that you can't quite cast, that'd be amazing, because then I could get rid of all of their hand. And they'd be left with what's ever in play, which may or may not be good. I don't know what this is hitting yet. Okay. That seems bad for me. They have a tracker. Oh, there's a tracker on top of their library. Ah. Yeah, seems not good for me. Whatever's happening here. If they played a land, though, this would be very good for me. Beautiful. That is very good for me. So now I get to hit the Coco out of their hand. Unfortunately, they still get to draw a tracker, but I at least get the Coco out of their hand, so that's good. And obviously, they're still drawing tracker, which is not ideal for me, but yeah. It is what it is. Chump blocking here is interesting. Wouldn't have guessed that would happen. Alright. I want to keep the tapped one. Alright, so Coco's gone. We grinded through it. And... Alright, they got another Coco on top. Because why wouldn't you just have literally all of the best possible cards that can help you grind against me in a row on top of your deck all at the same time? Why not? The good news for me is Crocs is actually quite a quick clock, so I at least have something happening here. Yeah. That is happening. It's good. The bad news for me here is that I can't draw a spell to save my life, which is somewhat unfortunate. But we do have him under quite a short clock here. Okay, so if I get Luris and play Luris, it's pretty unlikely they can attack for lethal. I guess they could Coco into some crazy stuff, but if they do Coco and they take the Croxa triggers, they're dead. So they kind of have to save the Coco to discard, unless specifically there's land underneath. Land underneath the Coco's really bad. Because then they gain life off Courser, and then all of this plan does not work. But Luris in play is still pretty good. Well, it's not actively bad, I guess. I think I can do the same thing by just casting Factor Fiction. Like, it just puts enough in the yard that I can bring back Croxa anyway. So I think it's slightly better than getting Luris. Although it's debatable. Alright. Path to Exile means they have to cast the Coco. And if that is how it goes down, then they... I don't know, they can just Ghost Quarter their own Flagstones, right? It's like... If they tap the Ghost Quarter here, though, they're like dead. If the card under the Coco is not specifically a land. Because they could play the land with Courser. Opponent does see the line, okay. They see the line of leaving a Ghost Quarter to stay alive, which is probably important. I was not supposed to let that resolve. I was 100% supposed to Factor Fiction in response and try to hit a mana leak. Because then I win the game on the spot. And that would have been a way better play than what I just did. Now we're actually in a lot of trouble because we made a very poor play. So that's unfortunate. Yeah, that's not good. All of that said, we still have outs. Like, this doesn't actually stop the Croxa from doing 3 damage on the trigger, even if they draw it. Oh, they get to play another land. Of course they do. Why wouldn't you? Alright, well, the same thing is still true. So, like, a Cryptic Command is lethal here. They get to play another one. Oh my god, how many? Okay, Cryptic Command is still lethal here. They just have a million lands on top. How many lands have they played? I don't know what's going on here. Opponent's getting a lot of value. I'm scared. There's a lot of value here. Like, many, many values. Oh my goodness. Was I supposed to kill the Courser here at some point? I don't know. They've also gotten a lot of clues. Like, many clues. This is scary. Okay. So it's still possible we can find lethal here. It is physically possible. It's not super likely, but it is possible. We do need to find lethal, though. This could be tough here. But we know what we're working against. Alright, so I would have hit a mana leak. Which essentially means I just like could not have lost this game, and I found a way to lose the game, which is not ideal if you're trying to win games. But here we are, so yeah. Here we are. The bad news for me is these 3 lands do nothing, so I just have to take basically whatever pile has Snapcaster, because Leak also does nothing at this point. This is the ideal split for me, because this is more stuff in the yard for Kroxa. Yeah, choose pile 2. Okay. Well, I can bring back the other Kroxa this turn. Kinda really want to draw a lightning bolt here. Like a lot. Wow, just really frustrating when you absolutely could have won the game and then you still somehow find a way to just completely blow it. But yeah, the Cryptic Command would have been lethal. Is there any play I can make? Not really. Luris, like, kind of keeps me alive, but also, like, not really. Yeah. Well, let's attack and see what they do. They did block. I am not surprised by that. Yeah, I just can't quite do it. I can put them to 5. Yeah. Super frustrating. I even like realize as I'm clicking through it, like, yeah, if I just factor fiction response and I hit a mana leak, I have to be able to get my leak and then I win the game on the spot. Yeah. Alright, well, Aether Gust is good. Damnation is good. I don't actually like Force of Negation. It's like fine. It's fine. I don't like Thought Scour all that much either. I do like Thought Seize. Thought Seize seems good. I'm going to cut the mana leaks. I think Seize is mostly better. Mana leaks like fine. I think you can make an argument for Spellbomb over Bobble. I probably should do that. Bobble's medium at best. Spellbomb's probably better. Yeah, let's do that. Bobble just doesn't do all that much, and Spellbomb at least can stop. They had the Ramen-Up Excavator and Eternal Witness, so it's nice to get like free graveyard hate here. Like, again, if this was Leyline on the Void, I would never bring it in this matchup, but Spellbomb's like pretty free. It's like a pretty free cantrip, so try that one out, see how it goes. So we'll say 2 things are kind of working against me there. 1, I kind of assumed the wrong deck. I was not expecting Green-White Company when I saw Dryad. But 2, I played like garbage. And I just needed to cast my spells at the right time. And I would have won. So while it's embarrassing to put that on video, I do think it's still a point in this deck's favor that the tools were there and I just did not use them right. This hand looks quite good. I'm going to keep this. I would like one more land, obviously, but I mean, this hand's great. Question is, do I get Blood Crypt here just so I can play this tapped next turn? I probably do. It's probably slightly better than Watery Grave. I'll regret it if I draw one of my other 3 sources that don't cast Cryptic, but I think it's fine. Let us thought squeeze the opponent. Core Firewalker? What? I've got like Fatal Push and stuff, man. Alright. I mean, the card just doesn't matter. I do think I'm supposed to take a Coco just because it's like the best thing in their hand by a lot, and the rest of their hand doesn't do anything. And now I'm really hoping... Elvish Reclaimer. Now I'm really hoping to draw a land. That's not a terrible draw. Not quite as good as a land, but not a terrible draw either. No, those flags ones. They still have a Core Firewalker in hand. Very good. Deck land me. Perfect. I was just thinking to myself, hey, you know what'd be great here is if I didn't draw the land. It'd be fantastic. Still never a bad time to draw land. How about a 4-drop? How does a 4-drop sound? Doing that to stop opponent from going absolutely bonkers on me. I think that's still going to happen with this Collected Company, but I at least have a Damnation to kind of clean up the damage. Alright, so we're kind of hoping to draw another 4-drop next turn. I think that would be the ideal draw step for this hand, is a 4-drop. Not a land. Maybe they whiffed. Oh, that's very much not a whiff. No, it was only 4 cards, so not that big a deal. All right, land, deck, ever, please, one time. All right. Round 4, we at least have a functional hand this time, which is more than I can say about a few hands we've had so far this league. Yeah. Are we playing a mirror? Is it happening? We're getting mirrored? Alright. I think blue-red is the draw here. Another black source doesn't help me that much. I already have a second one with Watery Grave. I guess I'd rather have more blue. This card's Sword of the Meek? What? Alright. Really hoping this isn't a Thopter Foundry. It is a Thopter Foundry. Of course it is. Alright. Well, I'm going to force negation that. I am not beating this combo. This combo looks horrible for me. And gonna put Lurrus in my hand. I was probably supposed to shock there, but I'm not really that close to casting Croxus, so it's fine. No, I was definitely supposed to shock there. Because next turn I'm going to play Water. So the reason you're supposed to shock there is next turn my play is shock in Watery Grave and pass with 4 mana up. And opponent's going to be like, I wonder what the all blue lands deck is doing, shocking in Watery Grave and passing with 4 mana up. Alright. They got rid of Croxa, which isn't great for me, but also they didn't draw a card off of that, so that's mostly fine. I'll accept it. And we drew another Croxa. Alright. Yeah, opponent. Here's 4 mana. Go ahead. So when you're playing a Cryptic Command deck, you do generally want to not make that play. Generally, I would say. bolting them doesn't sound great. Ooh, Factor Fiction was actually a great draw because now if they don't do anything into Cryptic, I can Factor Fiction and not waste my turn, which is pretty good. Unfortunately, it also lets them Whir of Invention for 2 here. For another Thopter Foundry, which is kind of annoying. Foff is a turn late. Oh, but it resolved, so we're actually in decent shape. And K-Command is good. K-Command I'll take. Yeah, almost certainly taking this pile over this one. Just because, I mean, it's an artifact deck. K-Command is going to be great. Also, it's a bobble for Luris, which I think matters. Maybe. Just going to pass here. Hopefully we draw a land next turn. Maybe question mark. If they do Whir of Invention here, I'm definitely counter drawing. They're just scrying. Scrying's fine. One card on the bottom, one card on the top. So in their upkeep, I would like to see what they topped. Drawn in the lock. Okay, so they've got a counterspell. Now we know. Good to know. I think there's a decent chance I end up discarding a hand size, so I'm just going to bolt them. Pretty unlikely these bolts are super live anyway. Alright, we're not discarding a hand size. That actually worked out pretty well. And I think I just play Kroxa here. It's a little awkward because it lets them cling to dust it. How many cards? You know what? I'm just going to play Luris, actually. I think that's slightly better than Kroxa here. Are they drawing and locking Luris? Oh, that's fine. Yeah, that's totally fine. Cling it costs 5, so they still need another thing. Yeah, that's fine. Do you have another counterspell? They have a Cryptic? Oh, come on. What am I playing against? This deck is heinous, whatever this is. You know, I could play Thopter Foundry in my deck. I was looking for a non-graveyard way to win, which that is not, but I could do it. I assume this is a Whir of Invention for 2, which ends up going pretty good for me here, I believe. Just 1? What? Oh, there's Clinging Kroxa, that's fine. So that land was an excellent draw. I'll take that all day. Thought Scour themselves. Yeah, that's fine. Shark Typhoon. I don't know what opponent's playing, but this deck is something. It's truly something. Target player discards a card, return target. Yep. So they can't quite cling. Oh no, they can fetch and then cling, right? Oh, they just let that happen. That's actually interesting. I'm stunned they did that. I thought I would have fetched and clung in response, but that's fine. It is fine. My mana's mostly good. I guess I get a steam vent. Let's cast Luris and play a bubble. And I'm going to pass, and I have Force Negation or K Command both up. Into the story. If the last card is exactly Cryptic, this goes so bad for me, but I think it's still worth it. Yeah, I mean, it's not great. It's not great. It's not great. Fatal Push Luris, huh? Alright. Yep, Luris gets pushed. I'm trying to save this Force Negation for things that, like, truly matter. And not things that don't really matter. We're actually somewhat even on cards, believe it or not. So I'm not in, like, a terrible spot. These clings have been very annoying in this pseudo-mirror thing here. I am going to float mana. Probably Snapcaster here. I've got... No, I want another black source, right? It's... I think I'm supposed to K Command. It's awkward because... they still just cling to dust me, but... No, they just continue to let this happen. Alright, fair enough. I don't really understand it, but they seem to be quite fond of that play. And we're scrying. Sure. Two cards on top. I'm just going to pass. I think it's a good time to pass. All right. So I'm going to target K Command. It's awkward because they just cling to dust it, but again, I think it's fine. They haven't really shown that they want to use cling to dust particularly much. Okay, they let all this happen. They're just going to end the story. Fair. This goes super well for me if the other card in their hand is not a counterspell. It was a counterspell. Because of course it was. Because of course it was. They discarded Cryptic Command. Oh my god, I'm in trouble. I kind of thought I was in trouble, but like that if anything's ever confirmed it is that. I am in lots of trouble. Opponent just looked me dead in the eyes and discarded a Cryptic Command in a blue mirror when they have more mana than me. That's really bad. It is like among the worst things that I could have possibly seen there. That said, still a close game. Kind of doing stuff. Kind of doing stuff and things here. Yo, chill on killing Luris. They've killed Luris so many times. I think that's fine. So odds this works at all are very low for me, given they discarded Cryptic Command last turn, but like maybe there is a chance. Doesn't seem like they actually have that many artifacts, so maybe. They drew cards instead. Interesting. So they'd leak it now, sure. No, but they also don't have artifacts, so like this could work. One card in hand. There's the artifact. Alright. Great time to draw that. They're drawing Warrior Invention next time. Oh, they were going to have an artifact anyway. Yeah. So that would have been a great time to draw Valky. Just a fantastic one. But yeah, we didn't. Okay, so Nile Spellbomb would have been amazing there. Way better than my Bobbles, that's for sure. Fatal Push seems horrible. Thoughtseize seems good, though. And I guess I just leave in one Bobble because it's just a cantrip. Sure. I could probably cut the Dreadbore for another Bobble, actually. Probably should. Doesn't seem like Dreadbore's going to be great against them. Alright, pretty classic. Just don't have requisite mana to play spells. Into pretty classic, atrociously bad hand. But I'm going to bottom that and keep, I think. And then play this tapped. Oh man, I don't think there's a worse draw in my deck than the Lightning Bolt. Yeah, I can't think of one. Actually, pretty sure that I was supposed to have the third Bobble in over the Bolt, but you know, here we are. It's a fine draw step, I guess. Not spectacular, but fine. I do think if I want to stay in this game, or at least stay with the opponent, I'm going to need to draw cards with this here Archmage Charm. I guess I'm hoping I just don't draw bolts. Spellbomb plays. It's not amazing, but it plays. Does something, I guess. It's definitely better than not doing anything. I really want to force negation this. Yeah, I'm going to. I think the upside of them like discarding a hand size is high enough. It's worth making kind of a a risky play like this. I get super punished if they just go like Dr. Foundry Sword here, but, you know, they probably won't. Urza. Oh, I forgot that was a card. I guess I maybe should have left pushing. I think letting Urza stay in play is probably really bad. I have to 2-for-1 myself to kill it. I guess I can leave the artifact. The artifact's not, like, that scary. Definitely letting Urza stay in play seems like a mistake if I've ever seen one. Target player discards a card, deal 2 damage. Yeah, so leaving these bolts probably just absolutely atrocious. But here we are. Do they have force negation here? I think I'd be okay with it, honestly. They do. Yeah, so I think I'm okay with it. There is a lived, but I got 3 cards from 2 of mine, which is, like, acceptable. It's not amazing, but it is acceptable. A bubble. All right. Let's play the bobble. Target them. And I'm going to pass and try to fall off on their turn or use Archmage's Charm if they do something I really want to counter. If they like whir for 2 here, I'm 100% just Archmage Charming it. If they scry... Oh. Really? Okay. I don't know how many instants can be in my opponent's deck, but yeah. They hit the one that is a recurable card engine source. Or card source. Yeah, just... Yeah. Yep. Mm-hmm. You know, it's all fine. No big deal. Not a big deal. It wasn't ridiculously lucky and... Yeah. Incredibly unlikely to work. No. It's fine. It's all fine. Okay. I think I choose pile 1. I think. I'm gonna choose pile 1. Make some like really not play stuff for a little bit. And on their turn, I can even just steal the construct, which is like not great, but a play I can make. So there's that. Probably upkeeping it. Are we worrying in response for like 3? What is this? Oh, Shark Typhoon. Oh, that's an even better one to steal. Let's steal that. Yeah, that sounds awesome. Let's do that. I would like a shark. Why, thank you. And they must discard, which is good for me. Discard a Thought Scour, sure. Not cracking Bobble there is interesting. I would have assumed they would have done that, but no. So here I'm taking 3, but they can use Cling if they want to crack both of these. It doesn't seem like they do, though. Alright, fair enough. Red, double red, off the red, black, black. Bring this back. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Alright, so it seems we've mostly stemmed the bleeding. I'm going to be a little upset if they activate Urza and hit another thing that they can cast. Okay, that's what should happen most of the time. You have artifacts in your deck you can't cast. You have lands. You have creatures. Probably have sorceries. The only thing you can cast... You have Shark Typhoon. You couldn't cast that. The only thing you can cast here is exactly instants and you hit. The time before, that is. Which is fine, just a touch frustrating, a little bit. They can activate Urza here. They can activate Urza here and cast their spell through Mana Leak, which is good for them. Certainly. Thought Scour. Fair enough. Two cards in hand. Oh my. Well, Valky seems quite good. Let's see what they discard. Discard Mana Leak. They have to have something in hand, right? And this one we're countering? Or you worrying? Crypticking? I mean, another Shark Typhoon, okay. Annoying, but acceptable. Now the question is, do I bring back other Kroxa? I think I do. I'd have to take Mana Leak down, but honestly it's like not doing that much anyway. I'd like to keep D-Swan. Yeah, untapped one. So opponents at 3, if they don't find something to they don't have great attacks, and if they don't find something to discard here, they're dead. Also, if I draw Bolt, they die. It was important. That's not true. I guess they can cling to dust to gain 3 and stay alive. So maybe my situation is a little more dire than I first thought. Certainly not great. Bolt is good, though. Bolt was a very good draw. In terms of good draws, Bolt was very much one of them. They discard Mana Leak? Sure. Yeah, so they're just dead here. I'm supposed to let this happen first. It doesn't matter because I have 2 mana leaks, but I was supposed to let that happen first. I mean, you know I have another mana leak. You have to activate Urza, but it just doesn't matter because I have another mana leak. I guess maybe they cast it again? I don't know. I mean, there's not an out here, but they're welcome to continue trying. Sometimes you draw a lightning bolt and it is good. I guess given that I saw Urza, the bolts are not amazing and I should have the pushes back. And Shark Typhoon. Yeah, the pushes are just much better. Bolt was good there. I mean, it wasn't terrible, certainly. But push seems much better. Alright, this hand is, like, bad, but I'm going to keep... Definitely want to keep 7 in a matchup like this. And I do have lands, which matter. What do we got on top here? Mountain. Alright, I don't really want to draw Mountain at all, even a little bit, so I'm going to fetch ahead of time. Guess I get to tap Blood Crypt. Drew Swamp. Beautiful. Yep. All right. Yeah. All right. I'll put that one tapped. Feels like opponent wants to make a play. Main phase. Is this the Thopter Foundry? Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Alright, so end of their turn, I probably try to K-Command, make them discard. They do get to sack the Foundry and draw a card, which is fine. But not a big deal. They could also whir, but whir, like, they're not going infinite if they were here. So what really happens is they either sack it and make a 1/1, or they Cryptic Command me, and either way I have plays I can make to play around this. Or like Mana Leak me, sure. Oh, that seems fine. You're just going to sack it? Archmage Charm? Okay, that's fine. Let's try again. Opponent was quick with that counterspell. Oh my goodness. They had that one on the ready. Shall we try one more time? I'm down to go one more time. I am down to go again. Really don't want to see a cling to dust here. A lot of the other stuff I could mostly deal with. Alright, does it die this time, or is opponent still dead set on protecting this Thopter Foundry? It appears they very much want that Thopter Foundry. Fair enough. I can see how much this means to you. Let's see what happens when I play a Kroxa. It appears they're doing something here, maybe? Cycling something? I don't know. What is this? Cling to dust, like bounce draw or something? No, we're just making a shark, sure. That's fair. But honestly, this is all fine because I have another Kroxa, so it all works out in the end. And now opponent has nothing. I think I'm supposed to save the push. Maybe the snap is better. I'd rather trade the snap because I can get Luris next turn, right? Yeah, seems much better. So opponent has no cards. There are certainly good draws for them. Namely, anything with Sword of the Meek would be quite bad for me. Like aggro bad, like many levels of awful. That's where we're at. But it is a good turn for me to put a Luris in play if I am allowed to do so. They did just top deck, so it's not super likely they have an answer. They have an answer. Of course they do. Why wouldn't you? I guess I was supposed to Kroxa there. I don't know. Okay, well, it's not great. But if they draw like a land for one turn, we're in really good shape. Just kind of need it to happen like once. I mean, it's kind of perfect. I guess I get blue-black. I don't know that it matters all that much. Another Kroxa, huh? Well, let's cast this one and see what opponent does. They just had a land. Interesting. Very interesting. I mean, Kroxa is a truly ridiculous Magic card. This thing is stupid powerful. It always got the short end of the stat or the stick of, you know, being compared to Uro, but it's a dumb Magic card. This thing's very good. So now opponent has no cards in hand, nothing happening. Their only out is essentially Doctor or Sword of the Meek. They need access to Sword of the Meek right now this turn. Cling to Dust kind of saves them. So Cling to Dust saves them technically, or no, it just really doesn't save them. They just get hit by 6, right? What am I talking about? It saves them from the trigger if... No, Cling to Dust does save them. If they hit a creature, though, which they have to choose to do, and they might not. But then they also end up sacking their Thopter Foundry, and then they don't have outs next turn, essentially. Yeah. So they're taking the... Yeah. The harder line, I guess I'd say. This Blood Crypt looks bad. Pretty inarguably. But this hand is generally quite good against Lurrus decks, so I'm going to keep it. Generally, other decks playing Lurrus are not good against Bolts, and me having Lurrus, hopefully, with a little luck, maybe yes, no, I don't know. We'll see. I am hopeful, though. That opponent could also be playing like Boggles or something. Oh, Hammer Time. Oh, this deck is terrible against a bunch of Bolts. Well, that's just totally, that's fine. I'm going to go ahead and just play a Blood Crypt and a Mishra's Bauble. I will say that the 2 Blood Crypts in my hand with an Archmage's Charm, not great. Little work to do on that one, but you know, it's fine. Totally fine. I do need to kill this Giver of Runes. This Giver of Runes is going to be a problem, so let's kill that right now. Let's see what they're drawing next turn. They're drawing another Sigarda's Aid. Well, second one's a lot worse than the first, I'll say that much. Alright, we are approaching casting our triple blue spells territory. We're not quite there, but we're approaching it. It's great. It's very good. If they play the other Sigarda's Aid this turn, I do think I'd Bolt end of turn and then put Lurrus in my hand. Steel Shaper's Gift, you say. Alright. Alright. See you there, buddy. Opponent has a hammer. So we're doing this specifically so that we have a chance to draw another blue source, and that would be excellent. These Archmage's Charms have been very bad. I want to cut them a lot. Just wildly uncastable. Aggressively uncastable, I guess, I'd say. Ooh, blue source here is good, though. Yeah, blue source is good. I like blue source here. It's not I can either counter the hammer or just FOF end of turn, and either way things go pretty good for me. I mean, like, they can resolve the hammer if they want, but that doesn't really get them anywhere. They're not hitting me with it. Oh yeah, give me that K command, baby. Are we 4-1-ing it because K command's so terrifying? Do it. Do it! Hit me with that 4-1! Yes? No? They're thinking about putting like a land with it. Oh my god. Yeah, oh, they're gonna give me the land. Very nice. Oh, no! Back to 4-1. I respect it. 4-1-ing the K command. You gotta respect it. It's pretty good. I'm still going to take the K command. I'm not a madman. This card's unbeatable. It's just so unbeatable for the opponent. It's just not even close. It's so outrageous. Yeah. Nope, I'm going to take that one. Sorry, opponent. I feel bad. The best is if they ever put the hammer on the giver, I can I can just Archmage's Charm steal the giver runes, and then I've got a hammered up mommy over here. I guess this isn't the mother, this is the giver, but the best is they know I have K-Command too. Like, they just know. They know in their bones it's coming. Yeah, let's do something aggressive here. I want to get aggressive. Turn target permanent is owner's hand, draw a card. The giver of runes. Please. Another Fact or Fiction? God, I love this. Every bit of it. I said I didn't like this, but no, I love it. In fact, I absolutely love every second of this. And it's not even all that close, if we're being honest. Go, my Luris friend! Get in there, buddy. Let's play a bauble. Yes, yes. Nice bauble. Drawing ink on things as well. That's a good draw. It's Valky. Valky's also pretty good against them, if we're being honest here. I would like to gain control of target Mother of Runes, or Giver of Runes, I guess. This... I almost feel bad. It's like so hopeless for the opponent. I appreciate that they haven't conceded, but like, wow, hammer time into the Kolaghan's command deck is just... It's like just really not a thing. Sorry, opponent. Yeah. Valky here is almost certainly bad, but I kind of want to do it just because it's sweet. Is there merit to that? I think hardcasting is like the only possible way I could lose this game, so probably don't want to do that, but like, Marshflats? Alright, they're drawing a land. That's probably good for them, I would assume. Oh wait, I can Thought Scour them and then they don't draw a land? I want to let them draw a land. There's like some chance it, gives them a shot in this game, and, I mean, it's fair. Everyone deserves a shot. Feels a little hopeless, though, I'm not going to lie. Stoneforge Mystic. Oh, my. Such a strong card. Another hammer. Fair. Harsh but fair. Let's cast another Foff. Oh, a Dreadbore, you say? Interesting. Good old 4-1. I still think I choose pile 2 again. Opponent's 4-1 to me twice, and I've taken the 1 both times. That's just good, clean Magic playing. Alright, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to destroy target artifact, 2 damage to any target. And that's the target. And if they want to flash in the Colossus Hammer to save the Stoneforge Mystic, they are welcome to, because that doesn't do anything, and then they get Dreadboard. And I still even have a Fatal Push, because why not? Dreadbore. Let's play the Bobble. The Bobble. Again, like, I could play stuff in my main phase, but, like, I have Cryptic Command and Fatal Push up against a deck trying to put a hammer on something, and there's just, like, no way that it ever works. Counter target spell, draw a card. Another Ink Moth, you say? Alright. Alright. They're firing up the Moth? Alright. Respect it. Yeah, I respect it. I'm going to take one. I think that's fine. See, what are they drawing? Silent Clearing. It's fine. Good Thought Scour myself. Alright, land wasn't ideal. It's also not terrible. What are the odds they have a creature in their hand? Do I want to draw what's in my hand? Another Kolaghan's Command? Oh, that's a really good draw step. I'll draw that. That one seems quite good. Alright, let's Cruxa them. Oh yeah, they had the Cigars there. We knew about that one. Yeah, and now K-Command, I believe, wraps the game up. I have a hard time believing they find a line. I know one of the cards in their hand is a hammer. I have a hard time believing they find a line that includes killing you with a hammer on an Ink Moth while playing around 2 removal spells. I don't think they could have beaten 1, but, like, there's, like, there's, like, some chance they could have. I think beating 2 removal spells here is, like, basically 0. Like, it's almost just exactly 0. Oh, they have Luris. I forgot about that. Well, fair enough. Hey, Valky steals Luris out of their hand. That's actually kind of interesting. I'm going to start by bringing back Kroxa. I think that's reasonable. I'm going to cast this one. There was a lot of options. I didn't really need them, but it's fine. They discard Shadow Spear. Okay. I'm going to play the Bubble. I think I do take Luris out of their hand, because now their hand is just Colossus Hammer and Luris. By taking Luris, they have just a Colossus Hammer. And I have the Kolaghan's Command to stop it in a bunch of different ways. Man, Luris is like soloed down. This is nice. Good kitty. Good kitty. Alright. I mean, you definitely had to do that if you were opponent. You needed something to go on here. They're also dead on board, so they're kind of forced into going for it this turn, which is going to be somewhat mana intensive. If they fire up both ink moths, they're just like way dead. There's no way it works. And the problem here is even if they have like Apostle's Blessing or something outrageous that like could keep them alive, Keikoin gets around that by destroying the hammer. Oh, it's this one, right? I assume it's that one. The big one? Or is it the small one? It's gotta be the big one, right? I hope it's that one. I think it was that one. I guess if I got this wrong and they had like Apostle's Blessing. Oh yeah, if I had another hammer they would have got me. Fair enough. I guess Damnation's good because we saw Giver. I think Force Negation is generally... no, Force Negation is good against Hammer. I don't think I need Valky. Valky's pretty medium. Thought Scour, also pretty medium. Probably better than Bottle, though. Alright, so opponent has pointed out that a second hammer would have beaten me very badly there, and they are correct. I was out here, like I just, was saying I was trying to play around Apostle's Blessing. I should probably play around the card I know for a fact is in their deck, and not the card that, like, maybe could be. Yeah, so, kudos to them. I made a dumb play. I gave them a very realistic chance to win that game. They could have won with, like, Steel Shaper's Gift too. They probably had like 5 outs there based on the line I chose, so that was poorly played on my part. But that's a good learning experience. Just to always play around another hammer against this deck. Always, at all times, play around another hammer. This hand's fine. Like Force Negation on the hammer is fine, but it doesn't really do anything, and I don't need early cracks against this deck. This hand is just so much better. Just hammer removal spell is just infinitely better against this deck. Just like not even close how much better it is. We're getting aided though. They've got a Sigarda's Aid. I really don't think my life total matters outside of taking huge chunks. So I think shockingly is reasonable. And I probably will bolt anything they play here. If they play 2 creatures, I guess I'm less likely to. But if they play like a Stoneforge Mystic, I'm definitely bolting it. Huh. That one's an issue. Yeah. Well, Let's draw a damnation, Plez. Plez. They don't clearly have hammer. I mean, they like probably have a hammer, but they don't clearly have it. And now I'm wishing I had kept my 7. Oh, they discard a Stoneforge Mystic? My chances of winning this game are not high. Like, very not high, in fact. I can maybe draw a Snapcaster Mage. They just have 2. Alright, very good. I am dead. Auriok Champion was a problem, as it turned out. I'm not surprised that it's a problem, but it was in fact a problem. Alright, bringing Valky back. I have to respect the Auriok Champion. I must respect it. Why is Aether Gust in? How did it make it in? I'm glad I didn't draw that one. Probably want a second bauble. Dreadbore seems kind of bad. Actually, Croxus seems kind of bad if I'm being honest. Croxus doesn't do anything. I'll leave the Dreadbore. Valky can become a copy of a creature, right? So I can, like, theoretically block an Auriok Champion with a Valky. Theoretically is the best retically, as everyone knows. Well, I think this hand's a keep. It's a wild keep, but I think it is a keep. I'm not winning anytime soon with this hand, but I'm protected against Auriok Champion. I have 3 removal spells and a counter for a hammer. So I think it's a keep. But certainly a wild one. Probably one where I don't do anything for a while, but like it's okay because I just don't lose to that. I'm going to take the Sigardazade in this hand, I think. Maybe I just force a negation it, honestly. I'm so far away from casting this Archmage's Charm, it might as well not even be a card in my hand. It seems fine. I can also just take the hammer. I mean, they have more hammers, but... The thing is, it's just so easy to kill with my current hand. I'm still going to take it. I'm snapping off Force Negation on this Sigardazade. Alright, we're going to pass. This is where we just sit here for a little while. Don't do anything. Yep. At some point we'll draw some lands and we'll be in decent shape. That was not the point, but at some point we will. I still think we're favored to win this game. We have many interactions, and opponent can't put the hammers on their creatures quite yet, so that's good. They're bringing the beats. I think using Fatal Push is slightly better. And yeah, they get more hammers, but they don't actually do anything. Alright, so opponent's hand does not have a Marsh Flats, an Ink Moth, a Stoneforge, a Sigardazade, or another Stoneforge. I know 3 Colossus Hammers and a Lurrus. That's what I know. Also have a Giver, which is kind of annoying. Alright, there's a Blood Crypt. It's kind of a good draw. It's, you know, I would have appreciated a blue source, but I'll take land. Land plays. It is acceptable. I'm going to have to kill Giver this turn. I believe. And they're probably just putting Luris in hand. Just fine. Yep. I do believe I have to kill Giver here. I think letting that thing stick around is a poor decision on my part. Although it does also let them bring it back with Luris, which is maybe not great. I'm gonna kill the Giver. This might be wrong. I think it's right. Cause land here. Oh, okay. Yeah. That's yeah. That's a tough one. Yep. 2 Blood Crypts in play. Draw a spell with 3 blue pips. Yeah. Yep. Alright, opponent has all of the Colossus Hammers. Their hand is literally 4 Colossus Hammers, a Luris, and that's it. Their hand is 4 Colossus Hammers and a Luris. Fair enough. Here we go. Well, their hand does actual nothing if I can draw a blue source. Blue source. Yes. Beautiful. Well, they got Shadow Spear, though. I still think I'm supposed to Thoughtseize Luris. I do give them, like, 1 turn. But I think it's fine. Opponent has equipment. Don't let them tell you they don't. There's many equipments in the opponent's hand. Very dedicated to the Stoneforge Mystic here. I assume this is Shadow Spear. That's fine. That is fine. We are a little low on life. I guess, yeah, I can die too if they draw exactly the white 1-mana Sigarda's Aid. I did leave myself open to dying to Sigarda's Aid, so that maybe was loose. Maybe not the best play. But I think overall it's fine. At least mostly fine. What is this? Are we firing it up or? Okay, firing up an Ink Moth, sure, that makes sense. Valky's not great. It's fine. I do think I play it. To see what's going on in there. Oh, I get an Ornithopter. Oh, I can become an Ornithopter. So they have 3 hammers. One of his Trace Hammers. And I think if they give me the option, I'm just double blocking. Because honestly, these dying is fine. Oh, Sigarda's Aid is... That's really bad for me. Is there any way to beat this at all? No. Yeah, that was the one draw I couldn't beat. This deck just doesn't function without Sigarda's aid, too. It's so frustrating when they have it all the time. Yeah, there's just no way for me to beat this card. Because they just also... Yeah, they just have too many things. Ugh. I guess I make them do it. The only way I'm winning is if they also fire up... Yeah, okay. So this was going to kill me no matter what I did. They had to fire up the Inkmoth there for me to have a chance, because then I can respond to the first one and have a shot. And then next turn I can actually kill all the creatures, so I do have a shot, but yeah, that didn't go well. Well, that match feels unlosable, and I think I lost mostly to my mana. Alright, so wrap up on this version of the deck. I think there's a lot of reasons why this isn't a great deck. But there's certainly merit to playing it. I kind of wish I don't know, I just wish I had more. I want more discard main. The Thought Scour was never impressive. The mana was a huge issue. I mean, multiple times I was just laughing at how bad my mana was. So all of those were problems. It feels like there's some really powerful stuff going on. And there were times where Lurrus and removal spells and counter spells felt amazing. And Kroxa also felt very, very strong. Also, Factor Fiction felt very, very good. So there are things I like here, and there's things I want to explore. Archmage's Charm needs to get out. Definitely. And I did not like the baubles. I know I probably need them for Lurrus, but I did not like them. I wonder if I could get Jace going. Maybe. I don't know. There's definitely some more exploring to be done. It feels like there's some good stuff happening here, but yeah, definitely some more to do, more to work on, I guess I'd say. But overall, I think this is a decent start. I think with a little tuning, this deck could go to the right place. And I'm going to see if I can figure out a way to get it to 5-0. I want to get it to a place where it's competitive. I don't think it's ever going to be better than Blue-White. Blue-White just has better tools and cleaner mana for the most part. But worth continuing to try, I think, at any rate. We'll see. We'll see where we go. But, yeah, pretty happy with it. Thanks, everyone, though, for watching. I really appreciate it. Remember, if you like the content we're making here, please like and subscribe to the channel. I'd really appreciate it. And also, please leave comments. All that helps with the algorithm. Really appreciate it. But with that, talk to you next time.
I'm joined by Kyle Balgamase. Welcome, Kyle.
How are you?
Raja Suleiman with Orzhov.
Max McVitie.
Congratulations, Brian DeMars.
Zach Allen.
I wouldn't be here without these guys, though. So.
And the champion of Proto Counter-Attack here, Ari Lax.